Hello everyone, let's have more news about the Warriors, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. As Jonathan Kuminga prepares for free agency, the Golden State Warriors are quickly learning that he wants the one thing they refuse to give him, a clear path to a featured scoring role. It's the unfortunate truth hanging over what's certain to be a complex series of negotiations. If the Warriors hope to keep Kuminga, then head coach Steve Kerr will need to figure out how to do what he seems to believe isn't a viable outcome. Kerr recently made waves when he and Draymond Green engaged in a public debate over Kuminga's ability to play significant minutes alongside the current core. Kerr stated his concern that a four-man lineup of Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, Green, and Kuminga would struggle to meet the goal of winning now. Green, meanwhile, responded by arguing that it's too soon to make the determination given the limited number of times they've played together. Based on Anthony Slater of The Athletic's latest intel, Kerr's line of thinking could go a long way toward deciding Kuminga's future. Per Slater, Kuminga, league sources said, still has visions of becoming an all-star, not fitting into an ever-moving mid-tier rotation role. He wants to be a featured player in an NBA offense and chase the 20-point and beyond dreams he's spent his life chasing and the last week of his fourth season tasting. Slater clarified that Kerr and Kuminga aren't at odds, but instead that finding the right contract with the ideal role is the restricted free agent's top priority. There isn't an irreconcilable player and coach or player and organization personality clash, league sources said. This is all about finding the contract and opportunity Kuminga craves. Now let's go to another video. Don't forget to leave a like.
And who knows how likely that can all be. Obviously, with the financial constraints of Kuminga being the restricted free agent to his sign and trade, it is going to be very complicated. But there are a multitude of factors that are going to go into this decision, whether or not he comes back to Golden State next season or not. And there are a few agendas that are at play here. And this comes from an Anthony Slater article where he kind of broke it up into three parts. The agendas that we're going to talk about today are Jonathan Kuminga's agenda himself as a basketball player and as somebody who's trying to make a business for himself. The win immediately core, which consists of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Steve Kerr, that whole crew that's trying to win another championship, or in Butler's case, his first. And then management, the people upstairs, Mike Dunleavy, Joe Lacob. Do they think similarly? Are they on different pages? Like there are so many different brains that are in this kitchen as to whether or not Jonathan Kuminga is going to be back with Golden State. So let's take this all in different pieces, starting with Kuminga himself. Look, we know that Jonathan Kuminga, and I'm assuming alongside him, his representation, are going to try to do what's best for himself and the future of his career. And Slater gave us a couple of different little nuggets as to where Kuminga is at overall. He said Kuminga, quote, has not slammed the door shut on a Golden State return. And according to league sources around the team, that there apparently is no irreconcilable player and coach or player and organization personality clash. Like what we've known over the past year plus is that maybe Steve Kerr isn't the most fond of Jonathan Kuminga and his fit in the roster. We heard him go on the Tim Kawakami podcast and say out loud that Kuminga, he's not a guy who can play 38 minutes a night alongside Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. But Slater also mentioned that Jonathan Kuminga still has visions of becoming an all-star. So is he going to be able to do that in Golden State? The jury's kind of still out on that. And with him already entering year 5 of his career, does he want to take that chance and try to run it back one more time on an extended deal that he can't get out of anytime soon? I'm not so sure he'll take that chance, especially when he flashed what he can do as a featured player in the Minnesota series in this past postseason, where after game 1, when Steph went down, Kuminga was used as a focal point for Golden State, and he put up big numbers, 25 points a night, 55% from the field. I think he was 22 of 25, or only missed maybe 22 of 27 or something like that at the rim. He was dialed in driving the basketball, and he also shot a very respectable 7 of 18 from three-point range. He seemed like he had a lot of confidence, and that's something that he kind of thrives upon. When he is thrust into a big-time role for the Dubs, he has been able to succeed, but more often than not, Golden State has to tailor the offense around Jonathan Kuminga and play his style more than him playing into what Golden State is trying to do to be successful. So it just feels like, to me, the best-case scenario for both sides, and NBA insiders have reported this over the past few weeks, is that the Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga come to an agreement on a sign and trade opportunity. Now we're going to talk about the other agendas that are at play here that are probably more tailored towards getting Jonathan Kuminga a new start elsewhere. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This is why you subscribe, because Anthony Slater reports for The Athletic. He covers all things Golden State Warriors and a couple other teams around the league for The Athletic, which is behind a paywall. The article that I'm referencing on today's show is behind a paywall. You have to pay $72 a year to subscribe to. Here at Warriors Today, it's 100% free. We will get you the Athletic articles that you need to hear from. We will get you the ESPN Plus content that you need to hear from. Anything that is behind a subscription service that you guys can't see for free, we will bring it to you right here on the channel. So subscribe and turn your notifications on so you never miss a beat around the Dubs. All right, heading into the next agenda that is at play here is the core of players that are ready to go out there and try to win another championship, or in Jimmy Butler's case, his first ring. The win immediately core. And that consists of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, and you could even toss Steve Kerr in there as well. And to be fair, let me preface things, this section with this. Steph, Draymond, Jimmy have all voiced their support for Jonathan Kuminga. Draymond's called him an all-star in the making. He knows what they can do. Steph has commended his ability to stay poised and not let him be affected super mentally with all the DMPs and the jostling of his role in the rotation. Jimmy Butler has said he's a player that he really admires and sees a lot of potential in and would love to play alongside him in the future. How true is all of that, especially with these quotes that I'm referencing coming very fresh after the season comes to a close? You never really know. And we know that Steph was reportedly very pissed off at the fact that the supporting cast could not go out there and win a game without him in the lineup against the Minnesota Timberwolves to make it easier for him to come back and play later on in that series. However, on the other hand, we do know that the people up top for Golden State, they have some differing feelings potentially than maybe the players do. Because the players on in the locker room, they all want to see their guys go out there and eat. But with Steph reportedly not being happy with what Golden State supporting cast could do without him, they're going to look at trades this summer. And Mike Dunleavy did say, we'll do whatever it takes via free agency, via trades, to make this team as good as possible and as tailored as possible to a championship run for Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy. But with only a $5 million biannual exception, a $14 million non-taxpayer mid-level, Golden State in free agency is only going to be able to get one or two impact guys this summer. They're going to have to improve the rest of the roster via trade. And they don't necessarily have too many intriguing trade chips outside of Jonathan Kuminga. He's a restricted free agent that is going to have to be sign and trade for them to get any value back on him. And to be honest with you, Jonathan Kuminga carries a whole heck of a lot more value as a 22-year-old with untapped potential than a Moses Moody who we saw shrivel in the postseason. And he's a mid-level guy at best. Buddy Hield, who probably has more value to Golden State's locker room and on court than he probably would anywhere else across the league. And Brandon Podziemski, who Golden State's been very hesitant to trade, who also makes less than $4 million, probably wouldn't be too advantageous to trade him away unless he was a part of a bigger deal where you got a big fish back in return. So the other question you have to ask yourselves now, with Kuminga being likely the most valuable trade piece for Golden State, is how many teams are lining up to trade for Jonathan Kuminga? I'd be hard-pressed to say that it's a lot, because not only did he flash his flaws and inconsistencies throughout this season, but the financial constraints and the limitations that Kuminga being a restricted free agent presents to a sign and trade makes it very difficult for every team in the NBA to have the ability to go out there and do. Slater said this with a little bit more detail behind the madness. He said, there is not a current expectation that the Brooklyn Nets are preparing an offer sheet for Kuminga, but there are signs Brooklyn could be willing to use the open cap space as a vehicle to execute multi-team trade scenarios this summer, according to league sources. Now, we have heard for a while now that the Brooklyn Nets are a team that's been long interested in Jonathan Kuminga as a team that could just straight up offer him a big-time contract, as they have about $55 million available on their books. But doesn't look like that's going to be the case as of today. That could all change, obviously, based on what interest Brooklyn's getting around the league early in the offseason. So maybe they could just go pivot to signing Jonathan Kuminga. But I also don't think that Joe Lacob is going to let him go for nothing. So we'll get to more of that later. If Brooklyn does end up playing ball on a multi-team trade and they're able to absorb more salary from whichever team goes out and signs Jonathan Kuminga, because remember, Golden State, whatever is incoming to Golden State only counts for half of what is outgoing, whatever contract Jonathan Kuminga signs with his next team. I hope that's all making sense here. But if Brooklyn plays ball, more teams are able to make a deal for JK. And my ideal trade partner for Jonathan Kuminga is the Chicago Bulls. We talked on 2 videos ago about the prospect of bringing Kobe White back to Golden State in a potential Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade. I'm not so sure that Chicago is going to be willing to do that. I know Kobe White's probably not in their long-term plans, but do they see a one-for-one value going back in Kobe White to Golden State for Kuminga? I'm not so sure. But there are other players on the Bulls that I'd be willing to play ball with, like a Nikola Vucevic, like a Lonzo Ball, like an Ayo Dosunmu. Like, they have guys who I would want in Golden State's rotation. Doesn't have to necessarily be Kobe White. I just think they have the clearest avenue to making a Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade work with. They can probably use him as a focal point in their offense, and they have a bunch of players who would be, good solid rotational pieces heading back to Golden State in an exchange. But let's hear from you guys. What is your ideal spot for Kuminga to land, and what's the ideal package coming back to Golden State in a sign and trade? Comment that down below. Your ideal Jonathan Kuminga sign and trade package coming back to Golden State. Let me know what team. All right, and the last participating agenda after Jonathan Kuminga and the players that need to win a championship right now, it's management. And all 3 of these facets can have differing opinions on what Jonathan Kuminga's future should be. I think that 1 and 2 here probably are more tailored towards him finding a new home. But we do know that Warriors owner Joe Lacob is a big old fan of Jonathan Kuminga. We know he will not let Jonathan Kuminga go quietly. In the article that we heard from at the end of the season from Marcus Thompson, we said he said that it would be hard to believe that Kuminga leaves and Joe Lacob just lets him walk for nothing. Like, he wants it to get some value back for him if he believes his time in Golden State is up. Like, you see, like, Lacob wants the young talent on this roster to succeed. He's still so fixed on this 2-timeline approach where it just doesn't make sense to really play ball with him. Like, I don't think Joe Lacob should be involved in basketball decision making, like, really at all for Golden State moving forward. We know he was a huge piece about drafting Kuminga, a huge piece of holding him back from any potential trades, and he's now a huge factor in him potentially returning back to Golden State. Mike Dunleavy, he did also say that he wants to bring Jonathan Kuminga back, and I could see the perspective from Dunleavy here. Like, we also know that he's not going to come out in an exit interview right after the season ends and be like, yeah, Jonathan Kuminga, thank you for your services. We'll see you. Like, we're going to try to get something going, no doubt about it. He's going to, highlight the positive qualities about JK. He's going to talk him up. And honestly, like, go to public with the impression that the Warriors want Jonathan Kuminga back. They see him as a commodity, so the other teams will see the value in him and want to potentially make a deal and send assets back. Dunleavy said this. He said, I look at the things that Jonathan Kuminga does well. Getting to the rim, finishing, getting fouled. These are things that we greatly need. We know he can bring those to the table. It's not hypothetical. It's not a guy in the draft that we think can do it. He's shown for 4 years he can do that. For that reason, we'll try to bring him back. Look, I get the thought process here from Dunleavy, and from what I just said, I also understand that he has to kind of talk Jonathan Kuminga up. He has to sell him to the rest of the NBA. But I can't ignore the flaws that Kuminga has shown. The tunnel vision, the lack of wanting to fit and adjust and play off and be a complementary player in Golden State's system. The way that Kuminga has tailored his game and wired his brain to play basketball, he thinks he's the man. And I think he can go do that on a very bad team and go play inefficient basketball, lose a lot of games, put up a bunch of numbers somewhere else. Because that's what he has done for Golden State. Look, I want to, maybe I'll find this statistic for you guys over the next couple of days, but I want to know the Warriors record when Jonathan Kuminga scores 20-plus points. Because in the 10 games before injury, when he suffered that ankle sprain in January, he was balling out. 21 points a night, good three-point efficiency. He was crashing the glass as well, doing the things that we wanted him to do. But after the return from that 2-month ankle sprain, he was a shell of himself, and he wasn't even the player that we thought was taking the leap from last season to this year. Like, he regressed all the way to pre-2023 Jonathan Kuminga. So it's not great that we didn't see him, play to the fullest potential next to Steph, next to Jimmy, next to Draymond. To be fair, he didn't get a ton of burn next to those guys. And if Steve Kerr has also said if he does, he will be in those lineups very frequently at the start of next season. Like, he wants to feature Jonathan Kuminga heavily, especially if Golden State is going to give him a substantial contract. And it looks like there's a possibility that Kuminga does come back on a multi-year deal, and they could potentially look at moving him more down the line, or he ends up working out.
Last night's action was crazy. Steph went insane last night, 52 piece, 12 threes, and a 134 to 125 victory over the Grizzlies. Like we said, Steph went crazy, 52, 10 and 8, 12 from 20 from 3, insane. Jimmy Butler had 27 and 6. Draymond with the trippy dub, 13, 12 and 10. Ja hooped out as well with 36 and 6. Triple J had 22 and 7 B hit, and D-Bane had 19, 5 and 4. Man, just roll the clips, please, man. Steph went insane last night.
Like, shooting 23s is crazy.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it ain't crazy because he made 12. I'm just saying.
Just, excuse me, I don't see you.
That do
Step
sound
forward.
crazy though.
Watch out. Wow.
Y'all know y'all can't let him get it in that left hand.
Excuse
It's
me.
crazy.
Wow.
What's that ball in his left hand? He damn near count that.
Oh, it's time to get disrespectful now.
Look at it, left hand. Bing.
Like, y'all left? Stupid. Bow. Shawty low on these niggas. Turn up.
That's when you got to
Swing
push
that.
I'm telling
It
you,
don't
get
matter.
that ball in that left hand and shoot it, man.
Jimmy Braids is crazy, by the way. I don't care, Ja. I don't see you either.
Left
Yeah.
hand. That
So
left
y'all,
hand
so
pick
what?
up, bro.
Stupid. Put a hand up. Bow. What do you do, bro?
Nothing.
What do you do?
Good shot.
Go home.
Nothing you can do, bro.
We know this about Steph Curry. Like, what Steph, 37, 36?
Yeah, man.
Man, it's starting to become normal.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
And man, listen, his is 15th, 50th point game of all time. And then of multiple threes, it's 27. I think the next person behind him is like 10, of hitting 10 threes in the game.
I mean, he got 4,000 threes.
He added a smooth 12 tonight,
Yeah,
which is crazy.
It's really normal.
Man, at this point, we gotta stop talking about if he's the best PG all time. Can Steph move into that top 5, man?
Best player all time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, shit. To me, he is.
If he knocking on the door, he right there.
I look at best players like most influential players.
Okay.
Like, to me, like, if you inspire a generation, I think you top 5. Like,
yeah.
I think LeBron inspired a bunch of people. I think Mike inspired a bunch of people. I think Steph Curry did.
All right, so do you think KD inspired a bunch of people?
Yeah, you see
Tall,
everybody
yeah.
tall that want to dribble.
You
and
gotta
shoot.
throw Kobe in there then.
Yeah.
Oh, most definitely.
I think Kobe was inspired by Mike, so I don't think he inspired. I think Mike did more inspiring. I think Kobe just mimicked Mike.
Steph Curry got to be top 5 because he literally changed the game.
He changed everything
Everybody
about
shoots
basketball.
threes all day now, bro.
Yeah, bro.
He made it acceptable to shoot 23s.
Like, they used to get mad at you for this.
No, it ain't acceptable because you shitty if somebody shoot 23s on your team.
Yeah, on
Yeah,
high school,
but-
I'm talking about the NBA level.
If a nigga shoot 10,
But if you watch
him, he's
If
pissed.
you watch 10-year-olds, they
Nah,
launch
you hot.
threes now, bro. It's crazy.
If we out doing our team get hot,
Keep shooting. When Jahar get hot, we be like, shoot. Let it
Shout out to
ride.
Jahar.
Respect.
bro, if you can make 12 out of 20, you can shoot 23s.
Yeah.
We were set to place.
I would left you. I swear I would.
But like you said, change the game of basketball for sure. And he's the best to ever shoot a basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at the OGs for saying Magic. I say Tom, Eric, I get it. Magic got the ring, the stats for show, but Wardell different, man.
And Magic inspired
You
people.
gotta
He
give
was
Magic
first.
that.
Most
6'9"
definitely.
PG.
So
Yeah,
first
that's-
6'9" PG.
Save the NBA, bro.
You
Magic
raw,
was
bro.
cold, bro.
Yeah, you raw.
I'm not hating on him.
Steph Curry got a
Bird
fake
representing for the white boys.
Yeah, they all like.
Bird Magic.
I just say the whole top 10 is like whoever you say in your top 10. I don't just got no order.
For
Like
sure.
I think Mike is the best, LeBron is the best, whatever it is. But those top 10 people are people that really changed the game.
Mm.
They was most influential. They might not have the stats. Like I know Kareem was great. He got all the stats and stuff or whatever, but he ain't do nothing to me that made me feel like he changed the game. I knew like
The hook shot stopped when he left.
he ain't inspired
Yeah,
nobody.
yeah.
to shoot
That's because
hooks.
nobody could do it. Like
Yeah.
That's what I'm
consistent,
saying. You didn't
yeah.
inspire
Yeah.
nobody. Nobody was like, yeah, we gotta get that hook down.
And that shit look weak, kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Niggas
Niggas
stop.
start shooting hook, you be like, bro, what are you doing?
You know, it's crazy. He had the most points in the league, damn near off that, and nobody taught that in training or anything.
Because they couldn't,
It's
bro.
a hard shot, bro. That's a hard shot.
And what every time it's brought up is hate too. Everybody, man, that shit effective, but that shit weak. But bro, he's scoring 30,000 points off that.
You look old shooting that shit. Like, bro, you look old as hell.
Yeah, and now I don't mean like Will Chamberlain. They changed the rules because of him and stuff like that. But I know Kareem was great. I ain't hating. He gonna
Nah,
be top.
Yeah, for sure.
No disrespect.
But I just look at people who really inspire. Like when I watch like Larry Bird, when I watch him play, I'm like, damn, I could tell a bunch of people play like Larry Bird. Like Kyle Singler. Your dad taught you how to play because of Larry Bird.
Nah, facts.
You know what I mean?
All the
1,000%.
cold white boys play like Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Larry Bird. Like, and it
lineage.
ain't even just because you white. I could just tell,
Y'all play
like,
him.
Pump fake jab.
That's what your daddy had you looking at.
yeah, like you're not the most athletic,
I
but you
agree.
are gonna
Why
be
nobody
skilled.
put Shaq in top fives, bro?
Because you
Shaq was cold.
can't remake Shaq.
Yeah.
Shaq is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Nah, he was breaking rims on people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but I'm saying-
it's not
Most dominant player
a
ever, bro.
duplicate.
Yeah, you can't do that again. You're never gonna have a dude that big, that strong, run that fast. It's like LeBron. You
It's
can't
freak of nature, bro.
you can't redo LeBron.
So he get knocked for that? 'Cause
Yeah.
he killed.
You're not knocking him.
No, he's the most dominant player.
That's
to play
just
basketball.
not. He don't fit Jeff's description
Nah, I
of.
understand that, but I'm saying,
No, we know he's top
Yeah.
15 great.
I'm like,
Yeah.
he got it done, bro.
Yeah, you're great. Kareem's great. LeBron's great, but you can't remake LeBron.
You teach your
Hey.
big, even now, you'll teach your big. You would want your big to be more like Kareem.
Not
Yeah.
me.
I mean,
Give me Shaq.
Hakeem Olajuwon. No, I'm saying it's
He
easier
will.
to teach him how to be Hakeem Olajuwon than it is
Nah,
Shaq.
yeah, it's,
Because the footwork, skill work.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah,
skill
facts.
work.
it is.
You
Telling
can't-
it, you gotta tell a kid, run hard. You can't teach effort, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference.
Yeah, I can't teach you Shaq.
Nah,
bro, that's
you
God
can't-
given.
Yeah, that's God.
Nah, you
That's LeBron. I can't teach you LeBron. Only thing I say about LeBron, his IQ and the way he played the game, his passing ability,
Yeah.
and all that. Like his pure strength, height, speed, you'll never
Yeah.
get that
Them is just
recreated.
gifts. Yeah,
But the way he played the game, you can tell like he made it okay to be
yeah,
a superstar that passed the ball.
yeah.
Nah,
Most
facts.
definitely. Hey, if you go influential, definitely throw AI in there for sure. I know it's a
Facts.
different conversation, but off influence, especially culture.
Nah,
I
yeah,
like
that's,
it.
he
AI,
gave
he
small
more-
guards.
I was about to say,
that's
he
what
more
people like
realistic.
him.
Yeah,
He more realistic.
That's
'cause he-
why I love
yeah.
Allen Iverson.
pushing the envelope.
Yeah,
But Steph Curry changed
That's
it
true.
for all the people who didn't have God-given speed like Allen Iverson. Like Allen Iverson was an athletic freak.
Mhm.
He fast and everybody can jump. All world kind of athlete. Then you get Steph Curry, who's slow, skinny.
Yeah.
Go to Davidson. Everybody, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And now you
He
become the best player in the
relatable.
world.
Yeah.
Everybody like, yeah.
Yeah, he relatable for sure.
Most definitely. They put up on the board that had Ja, that had Ed, JT. Could they be as influential in those situations? I think Ja influence is probably bigger than everybody we just listed between Ant and JT. The kids went crazy for Ja.
They did.
Yeah, the young boys rock with Ja the wrong way. Everybody like because he polarizing, but as far as influence wise, yeah, Ja Morant, he's more relatable.
He is.
JT don't get the nod because I don't know why people feel that way about JT, but
Nah,
really-
JT straight up and down though.
Yeah, he don't really got the personality like the other guys.
yeah, he just gets to business for sure.
But they love
Hey.
Ja.
Speaking of personality, JT don't ever text my phone with that weak ass Nelly shit.
Oh,
Disrespect my mans. Nelly, we want smoke.
Yeah, JT. Now that I know you the culprit of this,
Talk about it.
I'm on your ass. And I know why Nelly said that because he probably watched our show and I told him that Shamadai, whatever fucking school you went to.
Shamadai.
Y'all niggas warmed up and that was an all boys school. Y'all warmed up till it's hot in here. So he got offended by that. But we want all the smoke right here on Club
Yeah.
520.
Yeah.
520 in the morning.
Nelly,
520 in the
what they
afternoon.
call him?
Dirty Mo.
Dirty Mo. Yeah, we want to shoot against you.
And then the next 1v1 is B Head versus Joe. Joe
Yeah,
wasn't tapped
yeah.
in.
Yeah,
We're
Joe.
coming to New York, the Patreon live.
Y'all tapping me in now. I'm about to lock in. Shout out to Cuz,
Yeah.
Brandon. It's about to get real this summer.
Yeah.
So all the rappers and entertainers lock in.
Lock in.
That video, you know what I mean, treated y'all different. And a lot of you niggas don't play against pros. Y'all play
Fact.
against them YMCA niggas. I play with NBA players. One nigga on my team averaged 40 in Africa. Shout out to Darius or Egypt, wherever you play, Europe. So I got real killers I was out there playing with yesterday.
Hey, I just want to let you know, Mook had to work this morning. Why you trying to take my man's out like that? That was crazy.
Listen, I didn't, bro.
Push me out there on the
No, bro, I love my nigga, bro. I'll never hurt him, bro. He made a bad move, and I ain't going for that.
He made a bad move.
First of all, why you trying to shake your mans up like that?
Hey,
Knowing
switch
it's
the
his
ball
first
screen,
day
bro.
out.
We need the content, bro.
Niggas put me in the pick and roll like they used to do, Jeff.
Oh,
Like,
God.
bro,
Hey, yo, he got me.
He talking about like they used to do.
That's how Bron did heavy. That's what bro said.
Yeah, bro, I was trying to do like,
That's
oh man.
crazy, bro.
All right, man. Super chat, Money D96. Shout out to whoever edited the open run video, y'all. Y'all had me here looking like Draymond on a good night.
Shout out to BC Media,
BC.
man. Nah, that was some cool. I didn't expect it to go viral like that.
I
So
ain't
that
gonna lie,
was
that was
great.
better than HGTV. Hey, you shoot fast, the ball go in. I say, bro, this funny as hell.
That was making up my verified buckets for sure.
Buddy sent me that Al Sharpton picture this morning, bro. With
the headband?
It was like, till the end, the journey starts now.
Hey,
Oh man. I sent it to be in this morning,
Get quiet, bro.
The journey starts now is crazy.
Nah, see, now I'm about to lock in. If I start walking around smacking niggas, niggas gonna be mad. Niggas gonna be pissed I get bumped and stuff. Your runs gonna look different. On my mama, I'm hooping in Scully's, no shirt, shorts, and the ones. Out the game, that's my 2K fit.
how you grab that rebound and did like this, bro?
I told y'all, niggas said me here, you look sad. They don't do it like that no more. I said, cuz I boxed now. I got straight.
I boxed out.
Hey, you were funny.
Hey.
Be here will be in the portal next summer. He's
Oh,
not in.
man.
Come June, niggas, up for all y'all.
You in the portal, cuz?
Bruh.
Niggas ain't running. The niggas don't get them runs, bro. Y'all play in the league and all kind of shit. Y'all get paid to hoop, bro. Them runs be weak. These niggas be posting.
That's a
Healy,
fact.
you don't hoop with no real niggas, bro.
Yeah.
Talk
Straight
about
up.
it.
Talk heavy.
Yeah, bro. So it's up this summer for real.
Lock in for the
Nobody
content.
on the way, nigga. No doctor table, nigga.
Fraud.
No BBL is crazy.
That is crazy. Also, Richard the Super Chat asked, "See, do you think you were ever a top 10 guard in the league, being here cold as hell as a hooper for real?"
My dog.
Yeah, I mean, I made the also change. But,
Thanks.
That's a fact.
yeah.
Real simple been playing. Warriors moving to the 5th spot. Yesterday they could possibly play the Lakers, man. Who can get that dub?
I'll let y'all talk about that first. I'm a little up and down.
Lakers and Warriors, that's a good battle. I think that'll be great for the NBA. I think that's gonna do numbers.
That's good
That'll
TV.
bring the NBA back for the TV stuff, but I don't know. I'll go with the Lakers probably.
Okay, first round matchup. That's a hell of a matchup, like you said, for sure in this situation.
Every single game gonna be on ABC.
That's a great matchup.
They gonna have every one of them games on ABC.
Most definitely, they gonna put the number 1 seed in A game on Tubi, and they gonna put Lakers Warriors. Yeah, prime time for sure.
ABC.
Now the problem is you got 5th and 8th is literally 2 games at this point. It could go any way. Where the Warriors want to be? If you're the Warriors, would you rather deal with the Nuggets or would you rather deal with the Lakers?
Nuggets.
I
Just
don't
because the way Jokic is dominant, but the way they play pick and roll coverages,
Yeah.
Steph can abuse him because Jokic ain't the best in the pick and roll. Even though
That's
he's
a
one of the
fact.
top leaders in steals, but he's
Okay.
just not the best guard in pick and rolls. And
That's a fact.
they can double team Jokic, but Steph Curry hitting 12 threes, Jokic back in coverage, it might get crazy.
Yeah, I like that. I like Jimmy and Draymond to deal with Aaron Gordon and PJ too. I don't like them dealing with Luka and LeBron in those situations. Man, that's crazy. We're going to have some good basketball here coming soon, man. But Ja hooped out tonight, man. 36. We was talking about the offense change. It looked like it was just fine. But again, on some Ja fashion, man, pointing the air pistols at the bench on the way off.
It's only right.
Man,
Set the vibes back, bro. Shout out to Memphis, bro.
they tweaking out, man.
Warriors land Kristaps Porzingis in blockbuster trade pitch. Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr made it clear after the 2024-25 season that the team needed a reliable center, which would ensure that Draymond Green could play his natural position of power forward. Ideally, the Warriors would need a stretch 5 who can also serve as a weak side rim protector. If there's one player who perfectly fits that prototype, it's Celtics star Kristaps Porzingis. Bleacher Report's Grant Hughes earlier proposed a trade that would see Moses Moody, Buddy Hield, Trace Jackson-Davis, and Gui Santos head to Boston. The following trade pitch would help the Lakers hold on to Moody and Hield, and instead build a package around Jonathan Kuminga, a restricted free agent. The Warriors would have to execute a sign and trade with the Celtics to pull this off. With Kuminga expected to command offer sheets in the range of $25-30 million, the Warriors may have the needed assets to acquire Porzingis' $30.7 million expiring contract. According to Clutch Point's Brett Siegel, the Warriors have long maintained an interest in Porzingis due to his ability to protect the rim and offer floor spacing. The Golden State Warriors have long been viewed as a potential destination for Porzingis before he even joined Boston in 2023, wrote Siegel. It is no secret to anyone that the Warriors will be seeking immediate frontcourt production, Siegel wrote. The Warriors were heavily linked to Chicago Bulls center Nikola Vucevic at the deadline, but the team went after Jimmy Butler instead. Since he doesn't carry any long-term financial restraints, Porzingis could fill an immediate gap next to Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler, Siegel added. This fit makes sense, but Porzingis' health is the top concern many teams share at this time. And you, fan, what do you think about Kristaps Porzingis' situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.